we're going to do study and we're going to discuss housing options, and I want this to be interactive and you can ask me any time, and if you need to if you don't understand what I'm saying, please stop me and ask me to repeat myself.
Or slow down.
Yes, I will start that. Thank you. Next slide. So, what we're going to discuss is information about how people can afford, what is the prices of Heart 811, and what is 811. Next slide, please. And then, so, does anybody know what is Section 8?
Yeah, I know Section 8 is very, I'm getting affordable housing. Unfortunately, with the one of the Section 8 housing is a building, not an actual paper.
Yes. So the difference from Section 8 housing to Heart 811 supported housing is that 811 have to get approval from the state, and it goes through if you, for example, for Golden Gate, you have to be a client or a family member have to be a client, and you have to talk to your social workers and talk to about any supportive housing, and seeking the social worker can fill out the form that we're going to discuss, or the support team can. Next slide, please. So, this is our commitment to inclusion and reducing the gap of housing. As we all know, the housing market is bad right now, especially for low income or limited income.
A lot of homeless people are stuck in the street. I've seen it.
I know. Especially in San Francisco, right?
Oakland too, everywhere now.
Yes, and so one of the agencies that we work with is Mesa Housing, and Mesa Housing is agency that has talked throughout the Bay Area, and sometimes they help building and set aside for the IDD or seniors and others. Next slide, please. So this is what I'm talking about, referral. The order to get Heart 811 supported housing is that we need to fill out this form. Again, has to do with either your social worker or your support team, and once this is complete, they can send it to me, and then I have to send it to the state team, and the state team or DDS will approve the form, and then once it's approved, your social worker or support team will send it to the property. And then the property will contact you and start the application process. But this is the initial form that you need to get to the property to start the process. Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So is this referral form done on a case by case? In other words, if there's a building that you want to apply to, do you have to get a new one of these? Or if you have one that you have, used to get into a building and then you have to leave or whatever, can you use it again on another building? How does that work?
So this form, once it's approved, this couple of things on that question. One is that this form, once it's approved, it lasts for 1 year.
Oh, only for 1 year? Oh.
1 year. And then for going back to your second question was, can they use for multiple properties? The answer is yes.
Okay.
But you probably have to apply again in case the circumstances have changed?
Sometimes you can apply if there is an opening, or if you want to be on the waiting list.
Okay.
You can use this form to do that as well.
Okay.
That is generally, so if somebody used this form and got their eligibility and used it to get an apartment
Yeah.
somewhere, but then 3 or 4 years down the line has to move or whatever the
Yeah.
circumstances are,
You need to have a new.
they would have to get a new one just because of the time passed.
Exactly.
But probably, unless some circumstances are different, they would get approved again
Yes.
because,
Unless
they got rich or something or
Exactly.
whatever.
Yeah.
The other part was when, where I'm currently, I stay where I am, and that, we just have to review the paperwork once a year to stay in the same place.
Yes. It's called recertification. That you have to do it every year. I think, so going back to your question, let's say, in this form only for 18 to 62. Once it's 62, there's another process become a senior housing.
So it's not like a voucher, right?
No.
Where it used to be like HUD housing. You could take it, they give you a voucher and you can use that anywhere you want. You're moving around. It was doable for you to take it with you if you move to another property.
There's another thing. I live in a Section 8 building, and I was told if you live in a Section 8 building, you will not be qualified for a paper voucher, which you can take with you everywhere you go, which I never signed up for because I never found one.
It's different. So, let me get back to you. I'm going back to your question is, no, this is done budget, this is property specific. This is,
For the referral form?
yes.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah, it's property specific.
Yeah, let's say one the living rooms has 8 unit vacancy right now. And you talk to your social worker and say, hey, I heard about one of the rooms has vacancy. Can I apply? And then you talk to your social worker, and social worker can talk to me and ask me what's going on with one of the vacancy. I give them information like what type of units available, how much it costs, things like that. And then your social worker will relay that information to you, and then once you decide or say, hey, I'm gonna apply, and then she or he can start the process. Again, this is very comprehensive process. So once you have the information, it's really crucial to send the paperwork as soon as you can, because it's a lot of people want housing as well. So again, this is our second half of the form. There's priority 1, priority 2, and things like that. Like priority 1 is the homeless. If you are homeless, and if you are the hospital of risk of homeless, that's tend to be priority 1. And then of course, if you need accommodation, things like that, you need to put that in. Next slide, please. And then again, I just want to show you the process, the timeline of the form. Just review the request, and then I send it to the RCC, and I can influence the word, the state, and then the review the form. Once it's approved, they send it back to me, and then I forward it to the social worker or to the support team, and then they submit it to the property. And then once the property has it, they're going to start the application process. Yeah, go ahead.
How long does this process usually take?
It depends how fast the social worker or the support team get the paperwork to me, and if there is some correction. I would say at least if it's in the perfect world, I would say within 1 week. If there's no correction, because sometimes it's gonna be back and forth corrections to me and to the social worker or to the support team, and then once I see everything is complete, is good to go, I send it to the state because, and then they review it, and then if it makes anything, they send it back, and then I make correction, and then once it's corrected, and then they review it again, and then approve it.
When you say corrections, do you mean like they're like something on the form is filled out and like wrong?
Yes.
What are some of the most?
If you go back to the previous slide, most of the time, and then go back one more, this one thing that most common mistake that I see is that one is that the 62 age mistake, or they don't have the medical number.
I also discovered something, when you living in a section A and it's foggy for safety, that if there's a blackout, you can't, and there's a blackout, and everybody happened back in December, I think.
Yeah.
And that if you're not home, you'd be stuck out and no way, and there's no manager. At my building, there was no manager there, but it means a lot of people get locked out.
I'm sorry to hear that.
That was discussed a lot where it comes to affordable housing, where some of them are using fogs that require electricity. If the electricity doesn't work, you can't come home.
Yeah. So what then happened, talk to your social worker, and the social worker can support you, or we can support you. Question, yeah.
How long does it take for the state to review these forms, get back to you, right?
I would say within 24 hours. They're pretty quick. So, yeah.
Okay, so to confirm what you said that this Medi-Cal number and then
The 62,
like your 62nd birthday
Yeah.
is usually the information that's missing or wrong.
yes.
How interesting.
Yeah. And then the state team is very particular
Right.
on that, and then they will automatically send it back. Yeah, so.
So you're basically saying they have to put their birthday in correctly in their social security?
If the social worker or the support team doesn't have the medical numbers, I always suggest them to put the applicant social security number,
Okay.
because that's the easiest way they can look them up.
Right.
Get tracking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Are besides like your Medi-Cal number, are there other information, other forms or paperwork that you have to send with your referral? Like for example, I'm just making this up. Like maybe your tax files or your proof of income.
Yeah, that's after the fund. Once it's approved and once it's sent to the property that you wanna apply to, the property will ask you with that information, the income, if you are receiving SSI, SSDI, any employment, income, things like that. And then your support team or social worker can support with that. Next slide, please. So this is one of the examples that some property that we support our house people this year. On the top left is building station inside city. We have about 18 units set aside for the GRC, and on in the bottom left, or sorry, in the bottom right is the new Casey Civic Center.
Kelsey Section, that was the one that had the, and plus money, because of course that one in my area had a blackout.
Yes. This is downtown, and we have about 14 set aside for GRC, and this building is a mixed income, meaning that it has different range of income. But we have about 14 units set aside for GRC.
I know that's right.
Yeah, I actually lived in that apartment.
Yeah,
You do the Kelsey one?
which one?
The one on the left.
Oh, wow.
You're South City?
Building
Yes.
station.
I know that's
And there's at
right.
least 2 vacancies there now. There's one vacancy that's been there since last December.
Oh.
For whatever reason, they're not.
Is it IDD units, or because we only have this building at building station, it has about 36 units
Total, and half of them
Yeah.
are set aside
for
people with.
GRC.
That's how he.
Do they have, I know Kelsey one has the, a fog key one, what about the other one? Does it requires a fog key for electricity to get in the main door?
I'm not sure about that, but that's a good question. I think
Yes.
Yes.
yeah,
Okay.
I think every building has its own, they all have fog keys there.
The reason why I was checking, because during blackout they won't work.
Next slide, please. So, Amy, this is just general tips that we tend to suggest to people like start now. Start thinking your income, how much can you afford, where do you want to live, and then look up any opportunity and put your name every list that you can have. This. Now, this is a couple of discussion questions that I would ask all of us to think about. Kind of like, what is your experience like? What more would you like to learn, and what are the challenges or opportunities that you have, and then any thoughts? Again, this is just a discussion portion, but I can answer any questions that you may have.
I know the more I work, the more my brain goes up. That's the, I love working, but that's a sacrifice that I'm making. The more I work, the more my brain goes up, which is not a bad thing right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the other thing, when you work, if you work part-time, your rent goes up. My rent goes up when I'm not working too.
And I think that's all of us, right? Which is bad, especially nowadays with this gas going up and the rain going up. So. Any questions? Yeah.
I don't have a question, but I can share a
Please.
little bit about the experience, because my daughter, I'm here, for her as well as for me to be able to help her.
Yeah.
She did actually get an apartment in the Kelsey Civic Center,
I did.
and we went through the regional center, and the 811 process was something I didn't know anything about.
It's complex.
But fortunately, when we went through the application process, her case manager did know and, so submitted that 811 form for us, and it was approved. And we didn't actually know what it was for, I guess,
Yes.
until we went to the interview because after she had submitted, then we got called for an interview, which didn't mean she had an apartment. It just meant that that's when they're checking the eligibility and how much money you make and all of those things, And that was when the person from the Mercy Housing said, well, she has too much money for a studio apartment. And I said, well, yeah, I was hoping she could get a bigger one. And he says, well, for that you have to have 811 eligibility. And her case manager says, oh, she has it. And she had the application on her form. So I think one thing that's helpful is if the families and the individuals know ahead of time, how do you know if this building accepts, if that's the right terminology, 811 eligibility, and to find out if, the individual is eligible, because we didn't know, and we were so lucky, because then he said, okay, well, now you're on the wait list for a 2-bedroom apartment, which still took a while, but eventually she had a chance and got the apartment, which has, been wonderful.
Yeah.
But it was very confusing, and by the time she moved in, it had been a year since she had actually submitted the application. But that was also due to it being a new building and all of that too.
I know that for the Kelsey Civic Center, for GRC in particular, we have 40 units, and 7 of them is 811, and 7 of them is direct referral.
Is what?
Direct
Oh.
referral
Okay.
from GRC
Oh, direct referral.
Direct referral.
Yeah,
True.
got it.
to Kelsey.
Yeah.
And thankfully enough that I'm one of the people that support that the process, and it's confusing
It was confusing.
for all of us because we at the time we didn't know how many percentage.
I realized that as we were going through the process, that the regional center was figuring it out.
Yes.
Also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, only she's done.
I'm finished.
I just wanted to share our experience with getting, because Bennett lived at Bay Station.
Yeah.
And that makes sense now. I've never even heard of 811, so this
No,
is very
I hadn't either.
this is very helpful, but it might be in the future.
Yeah.
So I guess ours was direct referral
Yeah.
through GGRC. And
I think for Bay Station, I think that if our agencies
Housing choices. Yeah, we were using housing choices, but the eligibility criteria were so specific, and it was very confusing. So when we first went, you know, they do have 2 vacancies currently that they can't fill, and one since last December. But when we first went, he had a part-time job at Rec and Park, very part-time, and so I guess if you have a job, the income has to be a certain amount. But then his job ended a month later, and we reapplied, and he had no job, and then we got him in. Based on that. So it was, and there were so many other things that were just so specific.
Do you have a 1-bedroom or studio?
Well, I'm not in that apartment.
Well, he moved out in April, but what did you have?
Oh, okay.
I had a studio.
And then, where did you move to now?
He moved back home for a little while, till the next step. But I have to say, it's a very nice building. It's like brand new, and his studio was really big. It was really nice. There were key fobs, of course, everywhere, and sometimes. But anyway, it wasn't perfect, but it's a very nice place.
The Kelsey is very nice too, obviously the same developer, I don't know if it's Mercy Housing.
Yes.
Okay, but,
I think I've seen you.
you probably have, and I didn't know who you were.
I live in for you discuss. I live in because
Oh, you do?
yeah,
Oh, okay.
I'm on the 6th floor.
6th floor, oh, okay, so my daughter's on the 5th. Well, one thing, speaking to what Sarah was saying about the blackout, because my daughter was there
Yes.
during that time,
Yeah.
and not all buildings, of course, have this, but because the Kelsey has the concierges,
Yes.
even though I can't remember what time of day that started, but
It's at 10.
they staffed the front so that people could get in and out, and if people were able to walk, they could go down the stairs. So I was able to come in and go up the stairs,
Oh,
which is a
wow.
little work, but I did, and get in their apartment because she was there with her roommate, and then go out and get them some food,
Yeah.
from something that was open, and come back because they kept staff in the lobby. And I would think a responsible building management, which isn't to say that all are like that, would have something like that in place if there was a blackout. Because obviously at nighttime, you're not just gonna get your regional center case manager on the phone to help you.
Yeah,
And-
good luck with that.
Right, so that is definitely an issue, but I think it has to do with the building management
Yes.
as much as anything, because everybody uses fobs these days
Yeah.
for whatever, even for your car.
And also, where I was living, the building manager was on vacation.
Yeah.
I know that Coastal Civic Center is a new building that's trying to be more disability housing
Yeah,
forward.
they are, I think they're doing a good job. Everything takes time to work out the bugs, but.
I like the Kelsey building a lot. The only thing I don't like about it is the automatic door closed
Too fast.
way too quickly.
Oh, yeah, and the elevator doors too, for that matter.
Yeah.
They always try to get me.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, I have a disability.
Don't
Really?
elevator doors have sensors in them?
They should, but the same thing with Baden. Once we had his dog and the leash got caught, because the door goes too fast.
That's an
Yes.
issue,
Oh
I
my
think, in terms of the
God.
Kelsey and
Yeah.
disability board. But it's a problem almost everywhere I go. With my daughter, if we wait for people at Stonestown to come out of the elevator, the doors will shut in front of us
Front of
before we
you,
even,
right?
Yeah.
unless
Before you can
somebody
even
is nice
walk
enough to
in.
hold it for you.
They don't like me. Doors try to get me.
Do you guys have a good portion housing?
Yeah, what's the blackout that you guys keep describing?
Oh, in
and what happened?
December, PG&E, a lot of the northern part of San Francisco was completely blacked out for a long
A
time.
long time. Yeah,
Really
it
long
was.
time.
It was like 3 or 4 days. It was
The
really.
blackout was on, the blackout
car church for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, the blackout was also mostly longest this way.
Yeah.
So, again, I think we on I think we on this section already, so any more questions?
Somebody back there.
Yeah,
With housing being so limited, like how often do these opportunities close?
it's very rarely because of people, live longer and stay in the unit for a long time unless the income change or anything happen in their life. So it's good to keep checking and keep, I know it.
What is the difference, because you talked about direct referral
Yeah.
and then there's 811 and like how do you know where to start or how to
Yeah.
start?
So it's again going back to what I was saying about this year. This is property by property, and every property has its own program.
Okay.
For example, the Cassie, it has 781 repairs. That has to do with this farm and both another 7 repairs. We don't need to do this farm, we can just forward people's name to the property, and then the property will contact the applicant and start asking them the income and things like that. So it really depends on the property.
So you find a property, if there's there, you want to apply, ask what they require and talk to your
Exactly.
team and your
Yes, yeah. Yes.
And also, doesn't the Section 8 ever thought about putting Section 8 housing, affordable housing over this way by the beach? Because it's more easier to live, like it's cooler over here.
Yeah, I wish we can do that. I know that Golden Gate don't have any own property, which I wish we have property owned, but we don't own any property. We have partners.
The reason why it brought it up is because
Yeah.
we're surrounded by homeless people and it's downtown too noisy, too hot in downtown.
So this is my information. If you have any questions regarding housing, things like that, I would suggest contacting your social worker first, and then if you don't get your social worker, and then talk to me, I can look them up and poke them and say, hey, I don't talk to your folks.
email.
So could we take a picture of that?
Please,
Are these sites gonna be available?
I think so.
I hope so. I thought I saw something in here about it.
You look familiar, because I still thought you were on also America's First Council.
Say,
I was.
take a picture in the loud
You
one.
were the chairperson of that.
Yes, I was.
I want to help my mom.
I killed
Thank you for
myself.
coming.
I want to help her get into like something that she can have for herself.